Happy Wednesday hump day, crypto pump day to the entire crypto fam. In today's show, we'll be discussing the Bitcoin price jumping above 28,000 after 1.5 thousand Bitcoin shorts get blown out. And breaking news just in, Saudi Arabia partners with China to build a Chinese oil refinery for 83.7 billion yuan, valued at $12.2 billion. Also breaking news, Jake Paul endorsed SafeMoon gets hacked after introducing a bug in their upgrade. Also, Sam Bankman-Fried is charged by the Department of Justice for allegedly bribing Chinese government officials with $40 million. We'll also be discussing Morgan Creek's Yusko says there is no chance that the government can ban Bitcoin. I'll be breaking down why that is. We'll also be discussing Balaji says it's difficult to deny a coordinated assault on Bitcoin amid his $1 million bet. That's right. He bet that Bitcoin would reach $1 million per coin by July 17th. And also, we'll be discussing El Salvador's Bitcoin boom, how the world's first crypto nation's big bet is stabilizing its economy, proving critics wrong, and paying back its debt. Quoting Stacy Herbert, perfect money needed a great leader for the extraordinary to manifest as it has done in El Salvador. In 500 years from now, President Bukele's transformation of this society will be taught alongside those of the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, ancient Rome, and ancient Greece. And quoting Max Kaiser, there is no physics, chemistry, biology, society, galaxy, country, multiverse, particle, poetry, art, consciousness devoid of some form of governance. Governance isn't the problem. Corruption is. Bitcoin, the hardest money ever, ruled by the soundest governance ever, wins. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. And welcome everyone just tuning in. This is podcast episode number 1235. I am your host, JV, and today is March 29th, 2023, and the entire crypto market is pumping, which we love to see. Bitcoin up over 5% for the day, currently trading at around 28,500 at the time of this recording. XRP, one of the top gainers, up 9%, trading above 54 cents. I saw it hit 58 cents here this morning. Cardano also up 7%, trading above 38 cents, and Ethereum up almost 4%, maintaining just above $1,800. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the market cap is pumping as well. We're just sitting under 1.2 trillion with about 49 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. And the Bitcoin dominance is back on the rise at 46.4%, with the Ether dominance at 18.7%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, we have FXS up 17%, trading at $8.90, followed by CFX up 17%, trading at 38 cents, followed by Mask up 14%, trading at $6.87. And below that, we have Algorand, Lido DAO, and Stacks. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, massive gains. Long overdue. As you can see, KAS up almost 50%. You have Stacks up 14.5% and Mask up 16.6%. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated a 57 in greed. Yesterday was a 59. Last week a 62. And last month a 50, which is neutral. So there you have it. How many are pretty pumped up for this price pump? Let me know in the comments below. And what you think of the new cap, Bukele 2024. Show your support. I just got it in the mail, so I'm pretty stoked to be wearing it today in the show. Now let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis and check out the charts. Bitcoin returned above 28,000 on March 29th as a classic short squeeze took the market to 5-day highs. Let's go. As we can see here in the Bitcoin 1-hour candle chart, data from Cointelegraph Market Depot and Trading View should Bitcoin hitting now. I think we hit 28.6 already. The abrupt uptick comes courtesy of exchanges where a band of shorts were blown out to remove resistance and allow the higher levels to return back. And as per crypto analytics resource SKU, these shorts were left over from Bitcoin's prior moves and were worth around 1,500 BTC. Quoting him here, looks like the previous bounce was shorted heavily and those shorts just got blown out, as he shared alongside this chart. And according to CoinGlass, the total Bitcoin short liquidations for March 29th stood at nearly $20 million at this time, and is probably much higher now. And monitoring resource material indicators noted additional changes on the Binance Spot order book in anticipation of the March 31st macroeconomic data print from the United States. Traders appeared to be preparing for potential buying opportunities should the downside re-enter. Quoting material indicators, meanwhile, price is pumping. If the bulls run out of momentum before clearing 28, things may get spicy. Fire chart shows that 25 million in Bitcoin bid liquidity that was stacked above the 200-week moving average was moved down to 23.3, presumably to defend the monthly close coming Friday in a fresh PCE report. Meanwhile, the price is pumping. If the bulls run out of momentum before clearing 28,000, now the Bitcoin price action thus effectively erased any traces of losses as a result of the crypto exchange Binance being targeted by U.S. regulators, as I covered in great detail yesterday, as the CFTC has launched some lawsuits against them. And previously, consensus favored a return to test the lower support levels for the King crypto, this focusing principally on the 200-week moving average, which sits around the $25,500 mark. Now, Scoo, meanwhile, acknowledged that in order for the short-term upside to continue, the bulls would need to muster some serious buying power. Quoting him here, thick-ass liquidity between 28 and 30,000 would need some sizable market buying to push the through up to here. So there you have it. Let me know if you guys think that 30,000 is likely the next target for the King crypto as we continue to pump. In breaking news just in, Saudi Arabia partners with China to build a Chinese oil refinery for 83.7 billion yuan, valued at $12.2 billion. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, with BRICS and all the deals going on right now, it makes it very clear that the dollar is doomed, especially when you factor in the bank runs and the banks collapsing in real time. So only keep in the bank what you're willing to afford to lose. That would be my advice to y'all. Now let's break down this SafeMoon hack. And this is all interesting. Jake Paul obviously once endorsed SafeMoon, and to me, SafeMoon always looked like a scam, but hey, it is what it is. SafeMoon, a project previously endorsed by celebrities and social influencers like Jake Paul and Soulja Boy, announced its liquidity pool had been compromised without revealing further details about the attack. SafeMoon confirmed it is undertaking steps to resolve the issue as soon as possible. And like many other crypto projects in 2021, SafeMoon was backed by numerous celebrities. However, a lawsuit from February of 2022 alleged that musicians such as Nick Carter, Soulja Boy, Lil Yachty, and YouTubers like Jake Paul and Ben Phillips mimic real-life Ponzi schemes by misleading investors to purchase SafeMoon tokens under the pretext of unrealized profits. Yeah, and investigating the SafeMoon hack shows that the attacker made away with approximately 27,000 BNB, worth approximately $9 million. SafeMoon has yet to respond to this request for comment, but moreover, users have been barred from posting comments on the announcement that revealed the LP compromised. This is the original tweet from SafeMoon, which they shared on the 28th yesterday. To the SafeMoon community, we want to inform you that our LP has been compromised. We're taking swift action in an attempt to resolve the issue as soon as possible. Follow here for updates, and thank you for your support. Now, blockchain investigator PeckShield narrowed the problem to a recent software upgrade as a potential culprit that introduced the bug. A public burn function introduced in the latest upgrade allegedly allows users to burn tokens from other addresses. That's not a good look. Community member DeFi Mark explained that the attacker used the vulnerability to remove SafeMoon tokens, causing an artificial spike in the token's price. The attacker took advantage of the situation and sold off the tokens at an inflated price. The attacker left a note along with the transaction, which says, "Hey, relax. We are accidentally front-running an attack against you. We would like to return the fund, set up secure communication channel. Let's talk." And until SafeMoon officially announces a resolution, investors are advised against investing in the project to avoid possible loss of funds. I would say that again. And following a recent security incident related to illicit access to hot wallets, Bitcoin ATM manufacturer General Bytes plans to reimburse customers that lost funds. Now, the hack has caused a loss of 56 Bitcoin and 21.82 Ether, cumulatively worth nearly $1.9 million. So there you have it. Avoid ish coins at all costs. And again, only invest what you're willing to lose. I mean, common sense, right? And with that being shared, now let's break down the latest of what's going on with Sam Bankman-Fried. He just caught another charge for allegedly bribing Chinese officials. You can't make this stuff up. The disgraced co-founder of the collapsed crypto exchange FTX is being slapped with a whole new round of criminal charges. According to new court documents, former crypto billionaire Bankman-Fried is now being charged by the U.S. Department of Justice for allegedly bribing Chinese officials with tens of millions of dollars. Not surprising to me. In a new superseding indictment submitted by the Southern District of the New York District Court today, prosecutors representing the United States review the charges against Bankman-Fried, quoting them here, from at least in or about 2019 up to and including in or about November 2022, Bankman-Fried, the defendant, corrupted the operations of the crypto companies he founded and controlled, including FTX and Alameda Research, through a pattern of fraudulent schemes that victimized FTX customers, investors, financial institutions, lenders, and the Federal Election Commission. The prosecution alleges SBF stole customer deposits to keep his frauds afloat, to make speculative investments, contribute to charities, and make himself rich. They also insinuate that SBF tried to buy off American politicians before alleging that SBF also tried to bribe the Chinese government officials. I think SBF missed his calling. He should have been a politician, right? He also conspired to bribe one or more Chinese government officials in order to regain access to Alameda trading accounts that had been frozen by Chinese law enforcement authorities. Shout out to the Chinese for not accepting the bribe, because regulators in the United States, you can't say the same thing about. The document goes on to allege that SBF's attempted bribery ran a price tag of at least $40 million. SBS representatives have yet to comment on the new allegations at the time of this publishing, but things aren't looking too pretty for Bankman-Fried and his scheme of empires, which he was perpetuating with his fraud. So hopefully that all catches up to him. And with that being shared, now let's discuss our next story of the day, and that's Morgan Creek's Mark Yusko says there is no chance that the government can ban Bitcoin, and shares why. That's right. Mark Yusko says that a U.S. government ban on Bitcoin would not stop the king crypto in its tracks, meaning you can't stop it. In a new interview with Paul Barron, the crypto veteran says people are wrong when they suggest the government can ban Bitcoin. I agree 100%. He argues that U.S. Bitcoin hodlers are just a small portion of the global Bitcoin hodlers, and the leading crypto would continue to thrive if the federal government prohibits it. Quoting him here, people forget 80% of Bitcoin is held outside the United States. Americans only own 20% of it, and if Americans own 0 of it, it would still function every single day. If there were no nodes in the United States, if they made it illegal to run a node, if they made it illegal to move your money in and out through fiat on-ramps and off-ramps, Bitcoin wouldn't care. Facts. Yusko also says the Bitcoin is popular in countries like Nigeria because its native currency is losing value against gold and BTC. Quoting him again, Bitcoin is the most popular currency in Nigeria today because the Nigerian naira is going into the toilet like the Turkish lira and the Argentinian peso or the Venezuelan bolivar. So all of those assets are deteriorating in value relative to things like gold and Bitcoin. Yusko believes that virtual assets will see mass adoption by the time of his 6-month-old granddaughter is using currency. Quoting him again, she will never know paper money. She will never know a leather wallet. She will know digital wallet. She will know digital money. Hopefully not CBDCs. Bitcoin, ETAL, but ultimately the transactions is a fundamental and as certain as every other major technological transformation that we have had in history. But at a time when you're going through it, everybody dismisses it as a fad. That's why we create these great opportunities. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Yusko that the government cannot ban it. And to watch this video he did entitled Banking Crisis versus Bitcoin Adoption with Mark Yusko, check the show notes below the video in the description. And now let's break down our next story of the day. Remember the former Coinbase Chief Technology Officer Balaji came out with that prediction that Bitcoin would hit $1 million in 90 days. In fact, he even bet, I believe now, $2 million wager on that. So if it doesn't hit it, he's going to have to pay up. But let's break down his latest, what he has to share. And then we're going to dive deeper into the El Salvador Bitcoin boom and what it means for Bitcoin adoption worldwide. So yeah, this is very interesting. The former CTO of Coinbase on Tuesday said that it's difficult to deny a coordinated assault on Bitcoin. I feel we're witnessing that in firsthand as well, not just Bitcoin, but the entire crypto industry. You can see on the crackdown and Operation Choke Point. But anyways, he shared about Operation Choke Point 2.0 on Twitter and shared a summary by Cooper & Kirk, a law firm that had sued the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, better known as the FDIC, Federal Reserve, and the Office of Controller of the Currency in the past. That's right, Cooper & Kirk said the agency's backroom war is unlawful and unconstitutional. Congress should perform its duty and rein in these regulatory abuses. I agree with that 100%. I feel the regulators are taking advantage of the crypto industry and suppressing the prices to the best of their abilities. Now, Balaji tweeted, freedom will push back at national and the state level. Very bold words. It's hard to deny now that there is a coordinated assault on the King crypto, but freedom will push back at the national and state level. The agency's backroom war is unlawful and unconstitutional. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And last week, he made his bold prediction. He said the Bitcoin price would skyrocket to $1 million by June 17th due to the rapid devaluing of the US dollar in the coming months. What do you think, I should ask, is the probability of the Bitcoin price actually hitting that $1 million mark? Max Kaiser, a few days ago, he said he feels there is a 30% probability, but also keep in mind, even if there is a 1% probability, we're ultimately saying there is a chance. So, hey, relentless optimism, let's go. Let's rein in. And now let's break down our next story of the day before we dive into the live Q&A, and that's to discuss the latest of what's happening in Bitcoin country in El Salvador. And this is a mainstream article. I typically don't cover the mainstream articles because usually they're filled with FUD. So, hey, this is in its rare form. This is coming from Yahoo. When El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, made the controversial decision to make Bitcoin a legal tender in his country, many people were skeptical and concerned about the potential risks, as they should have been, right? Bukele announced on Twitter that the country would purchase 1 Bitcoin each day starting on November 18th of 2022. How is it going now in 2023? Well, the latest news out of El Salvador suggests the government's bet on cryptocurrency is paying off. According to the Treasury Minister Alejandro Zelaya, the government has successfully repaid one of its 2 outstanding $800 million bonds with the IMF. This move is likely to allay concerns about a potential default, which had grown amid the country's adoption of the King crypto. He also announced the news via Twitter on January 23rd, highlighting the government's commitment to meeting its debt obligations and proving the skeptics wrong. Bukele tweeted, well, we just paid off in full $800 million plus interest, but of course, almost no one is covering the story. Well, I sure did. The government still owes $367 million plus interest on an additional bond set to mature in January of 2025, but the successful repayment of the 2023 bond is a positive sign for the country's financial stability. Let's also keep in mind we have a big Bitcoin halving set to occur in approximately 1 more year, so I think El Salvador is looking pretty at the moment. Now, what initially started as a largely controversial thing of paying off Bitcoin, using their Bitcoin in many aspects of the blockchain-based asset, had began to rebound. GameStop Corp's NFT marketplace has seen a considerable boom, and some of the top NFT projects on the platform has seen volume spike as high as 21,446%. And similarly, leading NFT marketplaces, startup GameFlip recently crossed 900,000 raised from retail investors in their active equity crowdfunding raise. Now let's get back to Bitcoin as a legal tender. The small Central American country made headlines in 2021. The legislation required all businesses within the country to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment for goods and services, granting the same status as traditional fiat currencies. And what does that mean? That means ultimately, if you're a business owner in El Salvador, it's required by law to be able to accept Bitcoin. Pretty cool, right? I wish we can say the same thing in the United States. Now, the Shivo wallet, the wallet created by the government of El Salvador, said that 2.2 million Salvadorians were onboarded just 1 month after Bitcoin became the world's first country's legal tender. And to encourage adoption, every user who successfully downloaded the app immediately received $30 in Bitcoin. And that was by early 2022. About half the Salvadorans have downloaded the app. So the Bitcoin bet has been met with mixed reactions from international organizations and governments, which continue to perpetuate FUD. With many expressing their concerns about potential risks that may arise from the use of crypto. The International Monetary Fund, I should say the International Monetary Fraud, recently issued a statement on El Salvador's decision to accept Bitcoin as a legal tender, cautioning against potential risks associated with such adoption. Yeah, risks such as it's not in their best interest, referring to the banks. Now, although there has not been any significant risk thus far following El Salvador's adoption of the King crypto, they noted it's important for authorities to be vigilant when providing government exposure to digital assets. And according to the statement, crypto markets are still largely speculative and unpredictable in nature and should have been approached with caution for El Salvador's economy to be safeguarded against potential losses. It sounds like Bukele actually knows what he is doing. So shout out to him. The IMF also highlighted the importance of transparency when dealing with crypto transactions and emphasized that it is crucial for regulators to ensure they remain compliant with anti-money laundering laws and regulations, and advised El Salvador to develop effective regulatory frameworks aimed at mitigating financial stability risks associated with crypto use. Now, El Salvador appears undeterred by the IMF's recommendations. Good for them. And in January, its Congress approved a digital securities law, paving the way for the country to raise funds through the issuance of the world's first sovereign blockchain bond, coming soon to a theater near you. And the law allows for the use of blockchain technology in the issuance, trading, and clearing of securities, enabling greater efficiency and transparency in the process. The additional step forward for the country could potentially attract investment from tech-savvy investors looking for new opportunities in the crypto market. And quoting one of my favorite people, Stacy Herbert, perfect money needed, a great leader for the extraordinary to manifest as it has done in El Salvador. And 500 years from now, President Bukele's transformation of his society will be taught alongside those of the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, ancient Rome, and ancient Greece. And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser, there is no physics, chemistry, biology, society, galaxy, country, multiverse, particle, poetry, art, consciousness devoid of some form of governance. Governance isn't the problem. Corruption is. Bitcoin, the hardest money ever, ruled by the soundest governance ever, wins. Facts. So there you have it. Now, I personally love the fact of what El Salvador is doing. I'm looking forward to the Bitcoin bonds and just Bitcoin country in general, leading the way and paving the way for Bitcoin adoption around the world. So shout out to Bukele, the greatest president of our time. You know what I mean? And I truly mean that. And with that being said, now let's dive into today's Q&A, where you can literally ask me anything that you like, and I'm going to answer as many questions as possible. Shout out to everyone in the live chat here today joining us. Uber Hodler, SpongeBob.io, Digital Dankness. We got Dad in the building. We have Sailing with Twins. We got Mikey Likes It. Dankness, always a pleasure. SpongeBob SquarePants. Bring Facts. We got Nancy Kurtz. We got Andrew too. We have Share the Trade. A lot of cats. I'm going to scroll up to the top and try to rattle out as many comments as I possibly can. Dankness says, so with the Iraq changing to the UN for oil and this new Restrict Act, the dollar is going to go to the toilet and it's going to have to go to war to protect the monopoly money based on debt. I mean, the dollar is most definitely doomed. Couldn't have said it better. Dankness says, I still want to hit 12,000, but I dollar cost average, so I understand there is a high probability of the bull market going, and also see based on the 2019 bear trap has a small chance to pick up cheap stats. Yeah, you make a great point. I think it is very unlikely we go back down sub 20,000 as things couldn't be more bullish for Bitcoin, considering how bearish the banks and the overall economy collapsing in real time, keeping in mind that Bitcoin was created as a result of the 2008 financial collapse of the banks. So Bitcoin was designed to thrive in this chaos, and that's exactly what's happening. We've had a absolute epic year thus far. We're probably up roughly 70% year to date. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're having a hell of a year, and this baby is just getting started. Good morning to you as well, Nathan. Good morning to you, Dan Drummond. Appreciate you tuning in live, supporting the show. Uber says been hodling for years and years now, and you know how you get that feeling, almost like the Jedi Force. And I say, yeah, the Force is strong up in this mofo, so keep stacking them sats. You know what to do. Missed us last couple of days as the wifey and I was skiing, but back in action today. Well, welcome back, Nathan. Glad to hear you got a little vacation with the fam. Love to hear that. Digital Dankness, I am well. How are you? I appreciate y'all checking in. I appreciate all the support as always. The PR trip will be epic, referring to the $100,000 Bitcoin party we're going to celebrate here in Puerto Rico. He says, I will make it happen one way or another. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no excuse not to, considering by the time Bitcoin hits 100,000, that means we're 4xing in price from where we are today. So everyone can come. The only rule is no perma bears allowed. I don't want any perma bears raining on our parade, praying for the demise of Bitcoin while we're at the party. You know what I mean? Just got to throw that out there. Frankie V says, good afternoon to the crypto fam. Good afternoon, Frankie V, and congrats. I know your coin you've been hodling for years is pumping like a mofo. XRP being the top gainer of the top 100 today, up another 10%. And I know it got very close to 60 cents already. And I know a lot of good news could be coming out very soon regarding the SEC case versus Ripple Labs and XRP. And once they get that green light, the price action, which has been suppressed for the past couple of years, should skyrocket. So I wish you much continued success. Art Girl, welcome. How many times during the stream we hit in 28,420? as many times as possible. Celebrate and enjoy that 420, will ya? Added to Bitcoin, DOT, and Matic today, but I stake my alts for 5 to 11% every 3 months. Curious, Dankness, what platform are you using to stake your crypto? Let me know. The government couldn't even build a functional website for healthcare, let alone trying to ban Bitcoin. Exactly. Not their expertise. We can say that again. Leave it up to Charlie Munger to try to figure out how to ban Bitcoin. Good luck, Charlie. What's your thoughts on AI Bitcoin spot trader? I hear that AI is already more competent than human beings, so who knows? I just know this. Approach anything with trading as gambling. You know what I mean? I'm not an expert at trading. I'm a hodler. I just purchase Bitcoin and hold it for the long term. And this strategy has worked out tremendously for me and my family. And I'm very grateful. I'm a long-term hodler, and I don't have any stress of day trading. I couldn't imagine trying to go to sleep knowing I have an open trade that could potentially be liquidated, or all the potential outcomes that can happen, or even keeping so much crypto on the exchange. I stress, and I can't stress this enough, regardless of what exchange you're using, remove all of your crypto off the exchanges right now. Put your crypto on a cold storage device. Do some research. It's going to require some research. You got to take responsibility for what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because if you do it the wrong way, and for example, you send your Bitcoin to an Ethereum wallet, your Bitcoin is gone forever. So do a little research. Become competent in self-custodying your own assets, and never depend upon third parties. You know what I mean? That would be my best advice to anyone in crypto, even newbies. You're going to have to learn how to self-custody your crypto, unless you just trust the government, you trust the regulators, and you trust the banks. If you trust all of them, hey, by all means, do what you got to do. But personally, I only keep in the bank what I am willing and affording to lose, knowing that any time a bank run can occur. You know what I mean? And I also understand the same thing. It doesn't matter if the biggest exchange in the world, which is Binance, the CFTC is coming after them. This is not a good look. It may be overreach. It may not be fair, but it is what it is. So I say all that to say, not your keys, not your cheese. Facts. You know what I mean? Let me know if you guys understand. I want to make sure it's loud and clear. And it doesn't matter what exchange it is. Trust no exchange. The top crypto exchanges can collapse. We've seen it with FTX last year. I think it was the second largest exchange in the world at the time, with Binance being number one. And now FTX is gone, and now they're going after Binance. Interesting stuff, fam. You know what I mean? Smash the like button, says Dankness. Check the links in the description, and subscribe if you haven't already. This is free and shows the love for JV's daily hard work. Greatly appreciate that, and your support means the world to me. So thank you, fam. God Candle coming soon. Full send it to the moon. You know what I mean? Probably right after all the exchanges freeze, probably. So get your Bitcoin while you still can. Where the opportunity is, says Nancy Kurtz. I think the biggest opportunity is still in Bitcoin. I still feel it's the safest horse, or the fastest horse in the race, and it's going to provide you peace of mind, because it's the only truly decentralized cryptocurrency where the regulators in CFTC, SEC, Gary Gensler, nobody can go after it. You know what I mean? Because there's no headquarters, there's no centralized authority, there's no attack vector. You know what I mean? So the safest bet, in my humble opinion, is going to continue to be Bitcoin, and it is also the fastest horse in the race, making it a no-brainer. Mikey Likes It says, smash that likey. I appreciate that. Mikey Likes It. Dankness says, busted trying to bribe the Chinese government. Not like he's going to be convicted. You never know. It's just, we hear more and more stories, but it's not surprising to me anymore. He's a corrupt mofo. He was bribing everyone. But isn't it ironic that he was openly bribing the U.S. officials, and they took the bribes. They were taking the money, whereas at least the Chinese officials are like, hold up, this is not right. They're trying to bribe me for $40 million. Not many people would probably bring that up. Most people would just take the bribe. You know what I mean? So much respect to China. The new Restrict Act may be the way that they can regulate and ban it under the guise of TikTok's bans, as Dankness. Well, hopefully that TikTok ban doesn't occur. Investors have been financially harmed for lack of regulations, not crypto. Facts. They're not protecting investors. They're protecting their own best interests. That, my friend, is a fact. Investors are being harmed left and right. They're doing nothing about it. You know what I mean? What did they do for the investors of FTX? Nothing. You know what I mean? That's a $10 billion fraud. They did absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? Uh, during the dot-com boom, there was millions of shady companies trying to tarnish the innovation. Same is going to happen with blockchain tech, predicts Dankness. Big up JV, big up Dad. Appreciate you tuning in, fam. It's such a chill place. Weather feels good compared to last month. We're hitting close to 40 degrees, says Dio. Word up. Give this some time. Ish coins will weed themselves out. It does seem this way. My SafePal hard wallet arrived the other day. I am stoked. Well, congratulations selling with twins. Let me know your experience with using it. Megadon says, JV, with the SAT stack yours, you should have enough room for anyone at 100,000. Facts. If you know exactly how much Bitcoin exists, how much is yet to come, and it's only going to decrease over time. What's speculative about that? Facts. And again, that was a mainstream article source coming from Yahoo Finance. So of course they're going to spread some FUD. The speculation is how much value the dollar has, how much will be printed, or a push of a button into existence. Good point. Victor Reynos is great show, fam. I appreciate that a lot. Much love. Are we ever going to see sub 30,000 prices after this year? Appears the floor would increase every cycle. Great question. We shall soon see. Your guess is as good as mine. Bukele needs to make the blueprint for other nations to adopt it. Facts. And I think they have. We have Samson Mao already meeting up with the heads of Costa Rica to try to do something special there. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Another country like Costa Rica and Central America adopting a Bitcoin as a legal tender. I'd love to hear that. You know what I mean? Any risk comes from lack of regulation and clarity. The CFTC can only go after Binance US. CZ is too smart for all these shenanigans. Stake Matic and Matic platform, right on. Sol on Solflare, Dot on the Polkadot platform, Theta on Theta network, but HODL, Bitcoin, word up. Ahoy, dropped in late. Welcome, Squid Hammer. Good to see you, fam. Appreciate you tuning in. Mark says, I've been a hodler since 2017. I forecast November 2025 high of $315,000 and a December 2026 low of $65,000. Personally, I love those targets. That's right in alignment with what I'm thinking. So yeah, send it. Peak cycle high, 315,000, with the low the following year of 65,000, ultimately meaning 65,000 becomes the new 20,000. Let's go. You know what I mean? Yesterday, I couldn't log into my bank account with my VPN on. That's alarming, and that doesn't make me sound so confident in the banking system whatsoever. You know what I mean? But anyways, fam, now for a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. We discussed a lot, including the latest technical analysis, with Bitcoin price jumping above 28,000 this morning after 1,500 Bitcoin shorts got blown out. We also discussed the latest with Jake Paul endorsed SafeMoon getting hacked after introducing a bug in their upgrade. And also Bankman-Fried charged by the Department of Justice for allegedly bribing the Chinese government officials with $40 million. We also discussed Morgan Creek's Mark Yusko says that there is no chance that the government can ban Bitcoin, and I explain why. We also discuss Balaji saying it's difficult to deny a coordinated assault on Bitcoin amid his $1 million bet. And of course, we also discuss the latest developments of El Salvador as their Bitcoin boom continues. We discuss how the world's first crypto nation's big bet is stabilizing its economy, proving critics wrong, and paying back its debt. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you on